Hi everyone, it's Michelle. Today I'm here doing a Bible journaling entry in the book of Isaiah, which is one of my favorites. I named my son after that book. And the chapter is chapter 52, verses 7 to 10. And I got this verse from the December writing scripture plan that's circling Facebook right now. And day 6 was this verse. And so I did this yesterday, which was day 6. And this is a verse that I've known since I was a kid. It's how beautiful are the feet of those who walk on the mountaintops, who bring good news, announcing peace and joy and salvation. And there's a song that I'm kind of thinking of right now, and the chorus says, "Our God reigns," which is awesome. So that's what I'm journaling today. As you can see, I just started with some gold paint. This is just a cheap acrylic paint that I got from the dollar store. And mine, for some reason, happens to be really watery, which I really like for Bible journaling because it goes on so thin and spreads really nicely and blends really nicely. And it is just so light on the page. So now I'm taking some golden brown and adding that to the gold. And I'm just randomly picking a couple spots to put this paint. Usually, from what I hear, you try and go in threes. So if that helps any, just pick 3 random spots on the page to pull some color in. And I'm taking a baby wipe that is not too wet, just wet enough that it will spread the paint. The look that I'm going for today is not a splotchy look with lines. I want more of a blended, soft look, I guess. And so that's what I'm using the baby wipe for. And for those of you who watch my videos, you know that that I love working in layers. That's kind of my trick. There I'm using the color Very Berry. Working in layers, I find you can get a look that you want because you can keep playing with it over and over and over again. If you put on paint too thick, it can warp your page a little bit, and I find you've got less room to work. Unless that's the look you're going for. I've definitely done some pages with a thicker coat of paint on it. But with this kind of look, I find that working in layers, you can just keep going back and adding a little bit more and a little bit more until you get what you want. So now I'm using the color Fun Fuchsia, which is just a little bit of a different shade than the Very Berry. And basically, these are the colors that I chose. And I find if you pick 2 colors that just complement each other, you can get a really cool look by just picking a couple colors and then maybe a couple shades within those colors. So I'm just taking my heat tool and drying it a little bit because I'm going to add some more layers. So there I'm adding the golden brown a bit more. Now see, I could have left it like that and had a more choppy look, which definitely can be awesome if that's the look you're going for, but I'm not in this application. So I'm just keep using my baby wipe there just to make it softer. And again, I'm kind of trying to go in the threes on the page. And now I took a big old glop of gold and I'm going to spread it all over the page on top of the other colors. As you can see, it is very watery. And I'm just going to take my baby wipe and wipe it across the whole page. I want that glisteny look across the whole page. And then after I dry this layer of gold, I decided I wanted the page to be a bit more vibrant in color, so I'm taking some distress ink. That color was Worn Lipstick, and the second one there was called Picked Raspberry. And I'm taking these distress inks with my applicator tool, which just has a little bit of foam on the end of it. And I got my distress inks and the applicators from rangerink.com. That's where that's who makes all the distress inks, and that's where I get it from. And I just wanted a bit more of a vibrant look on this page, and more than the paint was giving me, the acrylic paint. So I'm taking the Worn Lipstick and adding it in the lighter spots where I wanted lighter pink, and the Picked Raspberry color I'm using for the darker areas. And now I'm going in with the color Spiced Marmalade. And I'm using that color in the spaces where I used that mustardy golden brown color. Again, just to make it a little bit more vibrant. And I found that using this brush applicator, the foam applicator, I found that using it on top of the acrylic paint, it blended really nicely and gave it an even more soft look, which is what I was really hoping for. So I was pretty happy with that. And now I'm taking the color Mustard Seed, and I'm just going into the other light spaces there just to finish off. Usually I would go from light to dark. I don't know why I started with the darkest color first, but that's the way I did it. So now I'm taking these letters from Lawn Fawn, and I think I got them from scrapbook.com. And I really like these letters. They are nice and narrow, and they also come with multiple letters of the popular letters like E's and A's and stuff like that. And so it makes it easy to put them on your acrylic block and not have to do so many separate applications of the ink. So I really like that about those letters. And I'm just stamping out the words good news of, and it's going to say joy and salvation. So now I'm taking some packaging and the color Gathered Twigs. And as you can see, I'm just smushing it onto the packaging there. And I'm going to paint with this color now. And I'm going to try and do brush script for these two words. And I'm not quite sure about this brush. I know it's a 0 and it's a round brush, but I don't know much about brushes, to be honest, so I won't pretend to. And I've just been on YouTube myself, just trying to get some tips and tricks about doing brush script. And there's not a whole lot out there, but there's a bit. And the trick that I've learned, as you probably have learned with lettering, is that when you do your downstroke, you want that to be thicker. And when you do your upstroke, you want that to be thin. So that's what I'm trying to do here. That's the goal. If I had planned it a little better, I would have moved that word over a little bit further so that the Y didn't interfere with the word and there. That would have been better for me to have moved it over a little bit, but I didn't plan that very well, so that's okay. And now I'm writing the word salvation, which To be honest, I was a little bit frustrated with how it turned out. I know sometimes that can happen, and we can get really down on ourselves and just be hard on ourselves for things that we don't like how they turned out. But we have to be gracious and give ourselves a little bit of slack and not be so hard on ourselves, and realize that this is really about the process, and we learn more about ourselves and we learn more about art as we do this. And of course, that is nothing compared to what we learn about God as we journal in our Bibles and what we pull out from these verses that we are expressing. So I will try not to be so hard on myself about this word. And remember, I'm still learning how to do brush script. I did purchase a watercolor book that I practice a lot in. And I've just practiced lists upon lists, Christmas lists and grocery lists, and names of songs I like, and all sorts of things like that. And just to practice and get these words out. And I found that to be really helpful. And I just use my Crayola watercolor to do that, so I can use all different colors to practice. I didn't want to use the watercolor to paint these words on because I used the acrylic paints, but also because I had the metallic paint on there. I didn't think that the watercolor paint would absorb. I thought it might just pool on the top of the page there, so that's why I thought I would use the distress ink. And that's another thing I love about distress inks, is that you can use it like this with water and a paintbrush, and it goes on just like a paint. And I love that about the distress inks, that you can use them for so many different and in so many different ways. So anyway, I'm just going back and trying to thicken some of those downstrokes, and not doing a very good job, but I said I would be good, so I'll try not to beat myself up. And yeah, I'm just finishing up there. So here are some of the pictures of the end result. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed yet and you want to see more, please subscribe. And thank you guys for being such a blessing to me. I love your comments and questions. Take care. God bless.